Hello trophy hunters, welcome to my new video. I want to tell you about the platinums I regret buying and playing, just to get closer to that all-important 100 platinum milestone. I reached this myself in 2017 and had already obtained some heavy hitters like Dark Souls, Resistance 2, Battlefields. You know, a nice mix of hard games and ultra rare platinums. I was no stranger to difficulty, so my mindset at the time was that I was on 80 platinums. I had just obtained the Alienation Plat, a game by House Marquee, developers of Returnal. It was a cool top-down shooter and was pretty tough in its own right, but now I was thinking about my 100th as it drew closer. I knew pretty soon what I wanted it to be: Mortal Kombat X, the 10th entry into the series. Nothing else really at the time was considered, other than maybe the original Final Fantasy VII, which shadow dropped sometime along the way. But as a massive Mortal Kombat fan and fighters in general, I felt it was a worthy game for the important personal milestone. I really like the idea that trophy milestones can be games that are pretty special to the individual. It makes for a good conversation with other trophy hunters and shows what kind of games people really enjoy, maybe even hinting at their personalities a bit. MKX was really well received by fans and myself. It was just a lot of fun. It's a game very special to me as I grew up playing the series ever since Mortal Kombat 1. It's also retained an ultra rare status over the years, so that was the perfect bonus for me. Yet, at the time, I was only on 80 platinums, and I started to feel impatient. My friends were also close to 100. We were kinda racing to see who could reach that number first, or at least keeping an eye on each other. I think we all had a period of playing games we wouldn't have normally, just to get closer to that milestone. I can certainly speak for myself on the matter, as I could feel the quality of my platinums declining as I started to get impatient. I already had my fair share of Telltale games, but I honestly enjoyed most of them, even with their easy platinum persona. I've always played what I've wanted to play, regardless of quality or ease. If there's a random Metroidvania or side-scroller I like the look of, but it's cheap and has kind of mixed reviews, I'll probably still give it a chance. This is how I played games like Blasting Agent, The Mummy Demastered and The Siberian, for example. Cheaper, smaller games, easy platinums, but I genuinely enjoyed them. But this was just different. I needed 19 platinums, so I was actively looking for cheap and quick ones just to bolster my overall number. I also managed to go back to games I needed to finish, and that netted me some really cool ones on the way to 100. A couple of highlights for me were Doom 2016 for my 83rd platinum, Destiny 1 for my 84th, Fallout 4 for my 88th, and Slain Back from Hell, my 93rd platinum. Finally, Final Fantasy VII, which maybe between that and Fallout 4 were the other top contenders for being my 100th at the time. But in between that good progress, those cool games I returned to, came several platinums I regret. So first up is Alido Eyes from Outer Space, which I somehow convinced myself was a good enough game regardless of the horrible trailer I had just watched. It had elements of exploration, puzzle solving and survival horror, which it received some praise for in its mixed reviews I found. This couldn't overcome the clunky controls or the technical issues in the game, however. Sure, it does have a unique enough atmosphere. It's like a point-and-click adventure. Think a budget sci-fi Broken Mirror perhaps. With an 82% platinum rate on PSN profiles and a 2 to 3 hour playtime, it's a really common game on people's trophy lists looking to raise their platinum count. I think the most offensive thing about the game is you don't even need to complete it to obtain the platinum. Every trophy is earned by interacting with things, there's not actually one for completing the game. It really made me question the point of trophies and how this platinum is, on paper, worth the same as something, say, like Dark Souls, which I earned a couple of years previous to Albedo. But as my good friend Score at Platinum Vault has said, a common phrase for trophy hunters is that a plat is a plat. Alido Eyes from Outer Space kicked off my bad platinums on the road to 100, being my 81st.
Huh? Fish? Flying?
Nothing can compare to the next one, however, my 82nd platinum. The single worst game I've ever played, and I bought it knowingly for trophies, knowing it was a terrible game. Just the memory of me watching the trailer for Orc Slayer and willingly pressing add to cart and buying this abomination is horrendous to me. Playing this for 2 hours was torture, and I had instant regret after the first trophy popped. Gameplay is as simple as walking around, holding down fire, and shooting the same enemies in the same environments. There's no variety in enemy type, level layout, or weapons. It's so repetitive, dull, and depressing. I had to see it through though. It was like a badge of shame. Once I earned that first trophy, I had no choice. I had to fight through the regret. This makes it actually, ironically, one of the hardest platinums to earn, because you have to overcome these feelings it invokes. One day, I'll do an in-depth video on Orc Slayer. I mean, you can blatantly see how terrible it is, but I'm not going to do that now. I just cannot bring myself to play for more than a couple of minutes for the footage needed for this video. I resent even downloading it again onto my PS5. Moving swiftly on, my next platinum regrets are not the most offensive titles. They're classics, good games in their own right and deserve to be played. Where the regret comes from is how I completed them, which was completely using save exploits. I like challenge, I like to push myself to overcome stuff, I pride myself on the skill needed for certain games. Fighting Super Shredder in Turtles Shredder's Revenge until I can complete the fight without getting hit. Learning a brand new Street Fighter V character to overcome the notoriously difficult Gold League. Or a nice simple no death run playing hardcore mode on Dead Space 2. There are many worthy challenges I'm proud of. I'm also a massive fan of retro games and retro looking games. Half of my videos are platinums on Metroidvanias, fighting games, side-scrollers or PS1 re-releases on the catalogue. So it really pains me that I played Pac-Man and Dig Dug, these classics, the way I did. I feel like I cheated myself and experience by not playing the game the way it was intended. I simply bought them, exploited and earned the platinum to add to my total. It goes against what I personally enjoy about gaming, which is, funnily enough, to actually play a game and to overcome the challenges that trophies present. I know it's fair that if it's in the game, then it doesn't really matter how someone completes something. It's just a personal thing. I want to play games for good memories, experiences and challenges along the way. And I denied myself that with these classic games. Pac-Man being my 96th platinum, I had 3 platinums to go, and this is where I became lazy and very impatient to reach 100. I had gotten Mortal Kombat X down to one last trophy, which was a really simple leveling one, Elder God, reach personal level 65 in XP, something I easily had control over. One last match would earn me enough XP to get the trophy and pop the platinum, so I had it primed and ready to go. I turned to maybe the most notorious PlayStation game for a triple auto pop platinum. It's not a bad game by any means, but not something I would have picked up otherwise. If you haven't guessed already, it is Sound Shapes. I played it on Vita for convenience. I would often play it whilst on lunches at work, walking to work. I would play it every chance I could get, but I did enjoy it. Like I said, it's a good game. But I know I never would have picked it up if I wasn't rushing to get to the 100th platinum. And the worst thing about this triple plat is I didn't get the Ultimate Edition. I've unlocked a triple 38% platinum because of the amount of DLC that exists in this game. My completion ratio has been crying ever since, and I've often considered buying the Ultimate Edition again just to get the other 62%. It also haunts my quickest platinum on PSN profile, as all the trophies were earned in a record 3 seconds. It's pretty crazy that these sometimes frowned upon platinum earning methods took place within my last 20 plats to reach 100. I'm really glad MKX was my 100th, I just wish I had been a bit more patient and not pushed myself to find some, let's be brutally honest, pretty terrible games to get closer and quicker to that 100. I'm now of the opinion it's the journey, not the destination that matters when it comes to my gaming. So, all I've done since then is play what I want. I don't care if they're easy platinums or 10 out of 10 ultra rares. If I want to play it, then I will. But what I won't do ever again is look for easy platinums and play a game solely because of that recommendation. Whether because it's cheap, has an easy platinum, has exploits to exploit, it doesn't matter to me, I will avoid. But I'm not going to judge anyone if they want to play I Am Mayo or even pick up Orc Slayer after seeing this video. They are easy platinums, they'll get your numbers up quickly, and if that's what you enjoy doing and where you find your pride, then I'm genuinely happy for you. I just have a lot more fun remembering and talking about games that really meant something to me, that invoked some kind of positive feeling or response to earning a platinum, and the journey of doing so. That could just be me, I know there's all sorts of people out there and they play for different reasons. So keep doing what makes you happy, that's the real message of the video. This was quite painful, I'm not gonna lie, willingly downloading these games again and grabbing footage, but I wanted to show it's not all ultra rare platinums, they're not all fighting games and cool retro games for me. There's been some genuine regrettable mistakes on the way. I hope you've enjoyed my suffering revisiting these games. Please subscribe if you did, I'm sure making this video will be worth it, but as always, take it easy, play what you want, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.